Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got in a flashlight to take a look at. This one's coming from Warsun and the model is the T9 Pro. This is the first time I've ever reviewed anything from Warsun, but they are not a new company. They've been around for several years. This T9 Pro looks to be a really interesting EDC option. It's going to have a main light, a UV light, a red laser, and a side light here on it. It's also going to have a magnetic base, a two-way clip, and some other really nice features. So stick around if you want to learn about it. We'll do a real quick unboxing. We'll go over all those features and specifications. I'll go over the user interface with you guys, give you some beam shots, and then give some thoughts on it. Quickly show you around the box. There's not a ton of information on the box, but show you what we're working with here. And then let's get into this, see how it's packaged and what all we get in here. This did come from Amazon. I think there's still a manual down in here. Let me get it out and I'll be right back. So yeah, here is that manual. It's in a bunch of different languages. The print is actually fairly small on it, but I'll show it to you here real quick in English. They also included a lanyard that is adjustable, a charging cable type A to type C, and then the flashlight itself. Let's take a look at it, just show you some close-ups here to start. So the T9 Pro does have some type of aluminum body. The Amazon listing does not say if it's 6061 or it's what it probably is. And then it also has obviously like a anodization on it. Helps prevent scratches and scuffs and stuff. The Amazon listing says that this is weather ready. Says that it stands up to rain and splashes and rough weather conditions, but it does not give an IP rating. As far as dimensions, we're looking at 4.6 inches in length with a width of 1.1 and a depth of 0.6 inches. And there it is on top of a dollar bill for comparison. We are looking at a weight of 2.9 ounces, so it's actually very light. So I'm going to show you guys the user interface next. We have three buttons here. This here in the middle is kind of like our main lights. This one down here is our side lights. And then this here is going to be our auxiliary, which is going to be the red laser and the UV light. I'm going to start with our main lights first. We're going to have a low, medium, high, turbo, and also a strobe. I do not know what the outputs are for the low and the medium. It doesn't say anywhere in the manual or on the Amazon listing. The high is supposed to be 1,000 lumens, and then the turbo is supposed to be 1,500. So to turn on those main lights, we just hit that middle button there one time. As you can see, it is a very cool color. And again, this is the lowest setting. And to get to the next output, you would just click again. So you got low, medium, high, and then it cycles back off. Low, medium, high, back off. Does not have a mode memory. You just have to cycle through to get it back off, basically. I'm not exactly sure what the time is on it, but let's say we turn it on low. And then we don't click any other buttons for, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 seconds or whatever it is. The next time I click, like let's say I want to go to medium, if I've had this on too long and I click it, it will shut it off. And then you'd have to like come back on again to get to that medium. To get to that 1500 lumen turbo mode, you just double click the main light button here. You can do it from off or on, doesn't matter. And that actually is very, very bright. Again, I don't know run times on any of these outputs either. Doesn't say it anywhere in the manual or on the Amazon listing. It does say that on the 1500 turbo it's just a burst, so I assume that's not going to last very long. But the other ones, like the 1000 lumen high, it doesn't say that it steps down, but I'll check that out for you guys while I'm doing the testing. Also has strobe, so if you're sensitive to that, you can look away for the next minute. But again, that same main button, just long press it, and then you're going to get a strobe coming up here. And then you just single click to get out of it. So the side, kind of like cob light, you're going to have a low, medium, high, and then a flashing red on here. So to get that, again, we're going to just hit this button one time, and that's going to give us the side light now. Again, we can go through them. That's medium, high, and then it would take us back off. Low, medium, high, back off. And if you want that red flashing light, you just double click the side button. Alright, we still have the UV light and the laser, and that's what the top button is for here, that auxiliary button. So you just press it one time, and that's going to give us our UV light. Let's see here. So yeah, you can see the little stripe across there. UV light's also good for detecting stains or tracking blood, finding scorpions. And then if you want to get to the red laser, you just long press that auxiliary. And there we are on. As you can see, that is a very bright laser. I'll have to check to see how far this will throw. Show you guys what that two-way pocket clip looks like. And there it is in the pocket. As you can see, that is a very deep carry. And there it is on a brim of a hat, so you could go hands-free with this. And even though it's kind of long sticking out here, it actually feels very stable. It doesn't feel like it's going to move around or fall off. The clip is actually very tight on there. And if you were working on something directly under you, you could flip this over like I've done now and have that cob light coming down. Let's check out that magnetic base, see how strong it is. See if it supports itself. A bit shaking. Yeah, that's actually pretty strong. So I've noticed every time that I turn it on that we get this blue light that comes on right here. I have to assume that that's a battery level indicator. But again, nowhere in the manual does it mention it, and nowhere on the Amazon listing does it mention it. So I gotta assume that it's probably gonna turn red or a different color whenever the battery gets low. So I will get this fully charged before we do the nighttime beam shots. There is our USB-C port. Alright, let's see what this T9 Pro looks like here in the dark. This is the main light, that's the low, medium, high, and then back off. Again, low, medium, high, back off. Let's go to the turbo. And back off. I'm going to do the white light, but the side light next. This is the low, medium, and high. Probably won't show up real well, but I'm going to turn on the red laser. I think the camera will pick that up. Yeah, you can see it on the wall over there. Alright, we'll look at the main light outside next. There's a row of trees about 80 feet or so away from me. I'm going to turn it on here in this low setting first. Yeah, you can see those pretty well. That is the medium. Yeah, that really lights things up pretty well. I'm actually surprised at how far this thing throws and how wide this fill is on it. Let's go up to the high here. Low, medium, high. Going up to the turbo next. And there, have it on the back of the car with that flashing red. Again, if you need to, alert other motors that you're broke down or something like that. And there, I have it attached to the side of the car. Again, if you need to change a tire or something like that. And finally attached to the underside of the hood. Again, you can see how helpful that would be if you needed to work on your car in the dark. Well, hopefully seeing those nighttime beam shots was somewhat beneficial for you guys. So what do I think about the Warsun T9 Pro? It seems to be well built, and the overall fit and finish is really good. I think there was a lot of thought that went into this design. Having the side lights and the main lights and the magnetic tail. Just overall, I do like the design. I think it is a good EDC light, and there's lots of practical uses for this flashlight. I was actually really impressed with the output from the main light. That 1500 lumens, it probably lasts, I don't know, maybe 30-40 seconds before it starts dimming down a little bit. The 1000 lumen high, it lasts somewhere maybe close to 2 minutes, and then it's not like a real sudden step off. It's like a gradual ramping down. So it's really something you don't even hardly notice that much, but it's really good performance. Pretty decent throw on it and really good spill on it as well. I probably have close to a dozen of these flat style flashlights, and most of them just have the lights up on top here. So having this additional side light is actually a really nice feature. I like that this pocket clip is a deep carry clip. I like that it's two-way, and it's actually really strong and sturdy. Like that it has this magnetic tail. There's so many scenarios that this is so useful, and it's a really strong magnet. And I like that it's USB-C recharging. There's no proprietary cables or anything like that that you need, just any old standard USB-C cable. A few things to let you guys know about. The UV light is 365 nanometers. But if I'm being honest, it's not the brightest UV light in the world. Let's just say you wanted to look at something on your couch or your bed. You do have to get this down pretty close. If you're standing up, it doesn't cast a light far enough to see stuff. Next thing is, this is a non-replaceable battery. Pretty much every flat style flashlight is the same way. It's not meant to be serviced. And on the same note, I think I mentioned earlier that I can't really find any information on the warranty. I don't know if it's a year, 2 years, 5 years, I have no idea. But in the manual, it does say that the battery is not covered under the warranty. I don't necessarily care for that, because if something's going to fail, it probably is going to be the battery. So I do feel like they should give you a year warranty or something like that on that battery. Another thing is, I could not find any information as far as your outputs on your low and your medium. I couldn't find run times for those. It just says 6 to 12 hours, but it kind of doesn't give a lot of information. So I do wish that they would include a little more either on the Amazon listing or in the manual itself. Another thing I'll mention is that the user interface can be just a little bit confusing, but once you do it a few times, you do start getting used to it. But just kind of know that long press on the top button will give you your red laser. A long press on the main button here will give you your strobe, but a double tap gives you turbo. And then a double tap down here for the side gives you your flashing red. Now, most of what I just said was not actual complaints. It was just kind of letting you be aware of the details of the flashlight. Though really the only complaint that I have is actually right here on this part of the light. So they kind of have this grooved out where the USB-C port goes, and it stays grooved out all the way down. And then there's these corners right here, and they are actually really sharp. It's not the same on this other side here. See, they have like this kind of cut out, but then it's built back up, and it's not that same way. Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about from this view. See how those are not there at this side of the light, but those edges right there are on this side. And I'm going to tell you, when you're sitting and your leg is kind of pushing up against this kind of hits the edge of your pants, and like it almost pokes through. Like you can definitely feel that. I am likely going to take like a Dremel and kind of smooth this out, and then just put some black paint over that little corner right there. But even with that little complaint, I really do like this T9 Pro and would definitely recommend it. It's probably going to become my new like travel and vacation flashlight. So like I mentioned, these are available on Amazon. At the time of me making this video, they're coming in around $30, which I think is a great price. Some similar style ones from other companies are well over $100 some. And I will leave that Amazon link down in the video description in case you guys want to find out more information on them, if you want to read some of the reviews, or if you want to pick one up. But alright guys, if you found the video helpful or informative in any way, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.